Hello, and welcome to Pantheon News. This is going to be a juicy one. I just want to preface this by saying that although I am covering these very hot topics, just keep in mind that I'm doing my best to wade through some topics without trying to get myself in trouble. So just keep that in mind. And so with that, I would just like to add this disclaimer. Please remember that although I do research for these videos, that everything that is expressed here is my opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. You can pause the disclaimer to read it. And so let's start off by just talking about everybody's favorite challenge, the NaNoWriMo competition. Challenge, whatever you want to call it. And let me just say this. How could I sum up my initial feelings on this competition, like just in a few words, is I feel that NaNoWriMo is being fake. Like, it's being extremely fake about everything that it's saying that it stands for or it agrees with. And I know that's bad to say, like, that should be bleeped, but it's just very disingenuous with the way it's talking about the competition right now. Let's just get into it. So I want to take you guys to an article, and it's all about NaNoWriMo. So let me scroll back up. And so this is going to essentially explain what's been happening. So with this article up, I want to highlight a few things. Like, we're going to talk about what NaNoWriMo actually is, and then how a lot of its followers are abandoning the challenge, as well as some board members have left. So when you think about everything that's happening, and you think about the fact that the creatives are not happy with it, people on the business side are not happy with it, it kind of makes you wonder, well, why won't they change? Well, let's get some backstory and just so we can all understand and be on the same page about what this is. So the organization behind National Novel Writing Month, so that's NaNoWriMo, is at the center of a massive controversy online thanks to its shocking stance on generative artificial intelligence, or AI. So of course it has to be about AI. The US-based nonprofit organization helps promote creative writing around the world, with its biggest initiative coming every November with an international writing event where participants attempt to write a 50,000 word count manuscript. It also has helped writers with helpful tips for combating things like writer's block, informative seminars with authors from around the world, as well as support for writing programs in schools in the US and abroad. Which all sounds amazing. It all makes you think, okay, that is a company, that is a challenge, a organization that I would love to be behind. And if you think about its history, like just in of itself, it is a challenge. Like, it is challenging. Who would it be challenging? It is challenging creators. So it's telling creators, hey, for this whole month of November, please write a manuscript of 50,000 words minimum. Like, that is the threshold. That is the requirement. Do you know how hard that would be? Like, could you imagine 50,000 words? That is a lot. And just to put this in like a sort of preference, my average 10-minute YouTube video, like one of the non-live ones, is about 1,500 words. It generally takes me, like, depending on how much research I do, it could take anywhere from 3 hours up to maybe 10 plus hours to get it together, just depending. And that's a rough estimate. And so now think about having to do that on the scale of writing something that's 50,000 words long, writing an entire novel. And they've been doing this for a long time. They've been doing this since, if my research is right, 1999. So it's a 20 plus year company that focuses on helping creatives, as it said. It talks about, earlier it mentioned writing seminars, it mentioned like tips on how to get over writer's block. So why? Like, are you not reading the room? Do you not understand what is happening here? Because you guys, we've talked about it before, and my stances on AI and how I feel about it, and just to clarify, so if anybody is wondering, because I feel like people will be like, you're attacking AI, you don't understand. I can see potential benefits for it from a technological side. I can see benefits for it in a number of different career fields that are not art related. I can see it in art as well, but I'm just saying I see it as, there's a lot of potential for it in other areas beyond art. So I really understand that it can be a very useful tool. So I'm not completely against it. And I know a lot of you artists are probably going to be like, oh my good grief, Apollo. How could you say this? You're a traitor. It is what it is, and that's just my feelings on it. But that doesn't mean that I ignore or I can't read the room and tell that, hey, if a bunch of people are upset about a particular topic or a certain issue, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe I should look into why so that I can try to understand their perspective or get their feelings as to why, they disagree with me so that I can move forward, especially if I'm working with said people, to really understand their feelings. All right, so let's look at this. It says NaNoWriMo has drawn the ire of fans as of late, and many are wondering why. The organization of International Writing Initiative that sees thousands attempt to write short novels every November are at the center of a new online controversy because of their stance on artificial intelligence. According to NaNoWriMo's website, the organization does not have a problem with generative AI models, saying in a blog post from Friday, August 30th, that it does not explicitly support any specific approach to writing, nor does it explicitly condemn any approach, including the use of AI. Okay, let's pause there just for a second. And you can see like the quote there, like this is what the snippet. So this is a challenge for me as a writer to write a novel of 50,000 words. But how am I challenging myself if I let ChatGPT write the whole book for me? Like, can someone please explain this to me? Because if the goal is to help me grow as a writer, learn as a writer, struggle as a writer, but then I just use AI to write the novel for me, like, how does that make sense? And like, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they were saying like, okay, use AI to help you get past writer's block. But it's not getting me past it. It's just writing something for me to use. Like, I don't know how that correlates to being, like, helping me grow. So I just don't understand the thought behind this comment. All right, so then it says NaNoWriMo specific reasoning for showing its support for the burgeoning technology, including using it in its yearly novel writing challenge, includes its ability to allow those who may not have financial or creative means to overcome the various difficulties that can come from writing. But that's the point of the challenge. Like, if you're doing a challenge for a month, because, writing a book in a month is kind of insane. Like, I'm not understanding where it's coming from that you feel that you shouldn't struggle in the month. Like, if already writing a novel on a normal scale without a time limit is hard, don't you think squashing it down into a month would be really hard? But you're saying that, it's there because, people may not have the financial or creative means to overcome various difficulties when it comes to writing. Art is hard in general, so I don't understand the mentality that we're just going to use this to fix the problem. It's not fixing anything. It's doing the work for you. Okay. I think I've like restated that too many times. This comes as AI has been a hot topic around the world, especially within creative spheres like the writing community. Detractors of technology have widely scrutinized its dangerous potential for devaluing the human part of the creative process and art in general. So, one can see how an organization like NaNoWriMo coming out so fervently for the use of AI would rustle some tail feathers. Many social media users have voiced their opinions on this stance online, highlighting its contradictory nature. The blog post has been seen by many. The blog post has also seen many come out saying they will no longer participate in or support the NaNoWriMo cause because of the sentiment. So I will be interested to see how many people decide not to participate in this, or if it's just one of those situations where people are like, I don't care, I'm gonna move on, this doesn't involve me, because it's kind of strange to me that for something that's supposed to push you as a creative, that when you allow this and then you see the response to it by a lot of people, that you're just like, it's whatever. And the reason I say it's a lot of people, because I feel like if it was just a few people, NaNoWriMo wouldn't put out statements in response to people reacting to their response on this topic. So it does go into this article. It specifically goes into some other issues that NaNoWriMo has had, that this isn't their first AI drama. Like, they have a lot of things that are going on with them sometimes. Like, it really sucks whenever you get into learning about a company that maybe you admire, or an organization that you're really interested in, and you see like, this seems suspicious. Too many things keep happening. Maybe you're not the best company. And so, and I'm not saying that about NaNoWriMo. I'm just saying, like, when things like that keep happening, it really starts to tarnish your public image. So it says in 2022, it was discovered that the International Writing Fundraiser was working with the well-known controversial publishing labels InKit and Manuscript Press. The self-proclaimed reader-led publishers are known for having low quality and community standards, allowing for potential problematic or poorly edited fare to make its way onto the platform easily. So if you want to, find out more about that, do research on your own, because it talks about certain accusations that surfaced from 2024. So you just might want to look into all of that on your own. That's for another video. I don't want to get into that here. Okay, so then we have this other article here, and it's where basically NaNoWriMo insults a lot of people, and it says that organizers said it was classist and ableist to condemn AI. And so that's an actual statement. And that's why I said, like, the reason why I feel like it's grown to a certain point is because enough people are speaking out on this where NaNoWriMo could not ignore it and just be like, whatever, it's only a small percentage. No, it's a large percentage. So they came out with a response to their fan base, their users, their challengers. I don't know what to call them. And basically, hold on, we're gonna have to scroll down because this goes over some of the stuff we talked about earlier. So one step, man. Where is it? I'm sorry. Okay, so I guess it does start here at the top. I didn't realize. I was like, I thought it went into some of the NaNoWriMo background again, but I guess it's just that one paragraph. But it says, last Friday, the 25-year-old nonprofit known as NaNoWriMo for short shocked many in the writing community when it published a controversial statement detailing its position on AI. In it, NaNoWriMo asserted that the categoric condemnation of artificial intelligence has classist and ableist undertones. The statement went viral on social media over the weekend, drawing fire for longtime participants and well-known authors, some of who credit the completion of their first novels to the organization. 4 members of NaNoWriMo's writers board, including science fiction / fantasy writer Daniel Older and fantasy writer Cass Morris, have now publicly stepped down from their roles in response. One of the organization's sponsors, Ellipsis, which advertises itself as a principal alternative to Google Docs and is staunchly opposed to the use of generative AI in its products, has officially withdrawn its sponsorship. So I'm just saying, like, it's kind of crazy to me how this is what's happening, and they just seem to keep doubling down on this. Like, this is one of those read the room situations. Like, even if you disagree, figure out a way to, make a very PR statement. Are you said, I'll stick my neck out and say I actually do use AI suggestions. I don't necessarily copy and paste, but I will have it make suggestions and use it for outlining and planning, also to check for spelling. So I do think that's a useful way to use AI. And that's where I'm on the side of it can be very useful as a tool, but it doing the work for you, which I feel like if that's what they meant, they should be more clear about, hey, we're not saying that we agree with someone using AI to write a novel, but we're saying if they want to use it for the outlining and planning section, and if they want to use it to, help generate ideas, okay, great. That's an ethical way we view using AI. Like, if they wanted to say something like that, like, I think that the community probably wouldn't be so hard pressed on them. Oh, look. Droid said, I also use it to help with exposition, but tweak it. I've used it very sparingly, but I consider myself a webtoon artist and not a writer, and don't use it to write my whole script. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that it can definitely be used in a ethical way, where people can use these tools to help them grow and, move forward in their creative process without just simply copy pasting. Because isn't that plagiarism? Like, okay, the computer generated it, so it's not necessarily anywhere, but it is what it is. Okay, so then it says, though it's not clear what prompted the organization to release the message, which was published on its Zendesk page, where participants can learn more about the organization and troubleshoot issues, and not on NaNoWriMo's official blog, it states that NaNoWriMo does not explicitly support or condemn any one approach to writing, which makes sense. Everybody has a different way of writing, a different way of developing their stories, but again, read the room. Elaborating further, it says that to categorically condemn AI would be to ignore classist and ableist issues surrounding the use of the technology. And to me, this seems like a distraction statement, just in the fact that it's like, who was talking about this? We were talking, like, I think everybody was talking about using it ethically, using it morally, and then for someone to be like, well, actually, this is quite classist and ableist, and it's like, who was thinking that? Like, I'm just very curious if anybody was like, only the poor, this is a tool for the poor, like, this is a tool for the rich. Like, where is this coming from? Like, I don't understand that mindset on it. As an example, the organization says that the ability to hire a human for feedback on writing assumes a level of privilege that not every writer has. Okay, let's pause there. So you're saying that I should use AI to be like an editor for me. And I could see someone do that, but the way they're phrasing it is quite strange. Because like, hear me out. this is a writing organization. Do you know how many free writing groups there are out there that will edit for you, that will beta read, that will alpha read, that will essentially, there's places where you can join like a writing group to do group critiques. There are, different people on YouTube and on other social media platforms that will literally be like, hey, send me your stories. I'll give you feedback on it. So it's weird to say that it assumes a level of privilege because and maybe they're saying like a professional edit is clearly different from, your friends editing it, which sure, that might be true because a professional works in the field. They'll understand that, certain things mean certain things in media or in that genre. But it's also kind of like, I don't think anybody was trying to say that, nor do I think that me having access to an editor means that I've assumed a certain level of privilege. It's all kind of one of those perspectives where it's like, yes, in this creative field that we're all in, everything does cost money to use these skills in an effective way. But I wouldn't necessarily say like, if I went out and hired an editor, I'm more privileged than someone who decided not to hire one. Like, some of those editors in those free groups are good. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you, better than some other editors. Side eye. I had a little thing for that. Like, literally, to me, it sounds like they're basically just trying to pass the blame. They're like, we're trying to, like, all you sad, poor creators out there, we feel so much for you, and we just want you to have access to make sure that during this writing challenge, your story can be the best that it could be. And I'm like, no. Droid said, they're like, we're not bad. You all are bad. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It is the old switcheroo. Using it for editing is way different than using it to write your whole story too. They obviously don't know what people are actually outraged about. It's giving out of touch. It's giving delusional. Like, I don't even know what the plot is, but I'm just gonna throw out words because y'all are upset. Okay. Let's just read a little bit more and then we'll be done with this. In an email to Nano's board, Older, the New York Times bestselling author of the fantasy series Outlaw City and story architect of multimedia series Star Wars: The High Republic, called his position on AI vile, craven, and unconscionable. Your I can't speak. Heinous reconfiguring of language used to fight actual injustice into a shield to cover your transparently business-based posturing is unforgivable, Older added. So he's just like calling them straight out. He was like, I don't agree. I'm upset about this. How dare you? So then this is another member of their board. Basically, she put... where is it? Oh, here it is. I have a very hard line when it comes to these generative AI programs. So let's just pause there. Like, I am not understanding when people on your own board are upset about this. Like, did you not run this this response statement past anybody? Like, it's giving, I put it in Chat GPT and it was like, this is ableist and classist, because that's how random it feels to me. It feels to me like they used AI to respond to the upset people who are upset about them using AI. Like, that's how I feel. Like, if they did that, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of goated, because it's like, that's how much we stand on AI. Like, it is insane to me. And see, this is the thing about it. Like, from a writing organization standpoint, I feel like you would be more hard pressed to be like, no, we don't want to do that, because we can see that, editors are an actual job. Therefore, if we're using AI to edit series, we're taking away jobs. And if it ends up becoming successful, where this AI editor can edit better than a person editor, then job eliminated. Oh, it gives better feedback than a normal beta reader? Eliminated. Better feedback than an alpha reader? Eliminated. That's what it's giving. Also, I'm glad you like the violin. I have a meme board now. I completely forgot about this, but I was just like, oh yeah, I can use this little meme board. So I am going to be using it throughout the video. So like it, like this. Like, that is how everybody looked at them when they made this statement. It was like, is someone impostering? Like, did someone hack their account? And that's how it made me feel. I was like, y'all are acting like this is normal behavior, but it's not. Okay, I just want to highlight this last thing. It says longtime participants, some of whom have been taking part in NaNoWriMo for decades, have also been reeling from what they feel is yet another betrayal by an organization that they say has ignored ongoing issues with the platform and alienating members and volunteers for years. See, this is where I'm just like, this just shows to me that you're just completely out of touch with your organization. Like period. Oops. We need to hit the next page. So basically, from this entire NaNoWriMo thing, I'm just like, if AI writes it for me, then how is it my book? Like, clearly, what did I do? Did I do anything that, like explain it to me? That's where I stand on this. And if you're saying something different, then please explain to me what you're trying to say, because it doesn't make sense. Again, writing a book in a month is the challenge. So it doesn't make sense to me if I'm you. Like, if you are the person who created this and it is your challenge and you're saying like, we don't condemn any sort of, way of creative writing, like that would be wrong. But it's your challenge, and that's exactly what you can do. Let me give you guys a good example. Let's all sit in class for a second. Let's just take a moment to really think about this. So let's say you are a recognized organization that puts together a competition for people to participate in. You have people who are, let's say there's no necessary benefits to this or like competition, but then people start to do whatever they want in the competition. So you're saying that it doesn't matter how someone decides to obtain the overall objective in the end. Like, it doesn't matter how you get to the end here. You just need to be at the end. So let's use the Olympics, for example. Can you do whatever you want in the Olympics? Like, let's say, can you use, something to enhance your body? Is that allowed? No, why not? Like, I'm just using what's there. Like, I'm just trying to improve myself to be better. But see, that's the thing. Like, you're using something to chemically alter yourself to make yourself better. Like, this to me is the same thing. Like, like it's definitely not necessarily a 1-for-1. I feel like you have to think about it a little bit. But there's a regulation on the competition that says that you cannot do this. Now, is there an honor system involved in the Olympics where it's like, yes, we're going to take your word for it that you're not on it. But if we feel like you are, we running them tests. Like, we about to open up the case and find out what's going on. So that's where I'm just like, you saying like we cannot necessarily, determine anything. we're just going to leave it alone. No, no, no. You can make the rules. You can determine things. You can help figure things out. Like, I need you to be like the actual... that shocked me a little bit. I wasn't expecting it to make that noise, but that's what I need them to be like. They need to be like, listen, we heard that you were using this and it's against our rules. Like, that's all it is. It just doesn't make any sense. Are you? I'm cracking up. Okay. And so, can AI be used in the writing process? I think we touched on it. And to me, I feel like, you know, it definitely could be. Like, as you guys brought up, it could be used to help give you suggestions. It could be used, you know, to help with editing, if you want to use it that way. I feel like that is in the gray area where people could be like, okay, whatever. So, but I feel like using it to just complete the challenge, like, why give it a month? Do it in 30 seconds. Like, who can type this down the quickest and whose computer can generate it